Hello everybody and welcome back to Danopedia. I'm Dan, there's no other Dan today unfortunately, it's just me on my own, but I am going to talk to you today about one of my favourite companies and one of my favourite subjects, Tesla. Now, we had a big announcement from Elon last week that they are going to be changing the battery design of the Tesla for the motor vehicles that they, well not motor vehicles, the electric vehicles that they manufacture. Now, the lithium-ion batteries that they currently use are, I think, manufactured by Panasonic and cost quite a lot of money because they're lithium. The production of lithium is very expensive. These are going to be using a completely different system, a redesigned system that will be using silicon instead, and is great news for the consumer. It basically means that, from what I can gather, Elon has basically been able to increase the power of the battery by 500%, and B has been able to increase well, that will in turn increase the range of the vehicles by another 16%. So I mean, if you've already got the range extender, that means that the electric vehicles are pretty much going to be better than a diesel vehicle. I've got a diesel vehicle, I get probably 45 to 50 miles to the gallon. I get 500 miles to the tank. If I could get 550 or 600 miles to the charge, then that would mean that, coupled with the decreased road fund licence or decreased benefit in kind tax here in the UK, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I mean, my car was about £25,000, something like that. I mean, it's a good car. However, this decreasing cost of production using silicon as opposed to lithium means that Tesla are hoping that within a few years they're going to be offering a car for £25,000, $25,000 even, which is probably going to be less than £20,000, which is the cost of a normal Ford Focus or a normal Fiesta, which is just it's baffling. If that's coupled with all the self-driving technology and whatnot, then Tesla literally are going to take over the entire market. It's unbelievable. Now, we've had a Tesla dealership open up locally to us, which I've yet to go and have a look round. But as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to go and have a look round. But this has made me think definitely now, when my car is available for a renewal, Tesla is now a viable option. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Along with the launch of the Cybertruck, obviously it didn't go so well, but still saw record amount of people place orders for the Cybertruck. Elon's really kicking off here. I mean, it's just going to wipe the floor with everyone else, because no one else is even. I mean, you would think that Ford and GM, with their absolutely monstrous resources, would have just gone, oh well, we'll just basically mimic Elon's technology and try and catch up with him by creating our own electric vehicles and by creating our own product range of hybrid electrics and fully electric vehicles. But no, I mean, Ford have got a huge market share in for transit van, for commercial vehicles and pickup trucks, but especially here in the UK, why they wouldn't have gone, let's develop a pickup truck or transit van that has a 500 to 600 mile range that can compete with the Cybertruck. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm seriously thinking about Tesla. For my next vehicle, it's nothing but Tesla, and I drive a luxury vehicle, so it's not going to be a massive change for me. For a lot of people, it's going to be a better vehicle than what they're used to driving. And yeah, I mean, Elon just seems to know what he's doing. Like, there's nothing bad I can say about this thing. I mean, I need to do some more research, I suppose, but yeah, thumbs up to Elon. Well done, buddy. Another Elon special announcement this week is that the first warp drive tunnel is nearly completed, which will run under the strip at Las Vegas. Now, the whole idea of this is not actually that you'll be allowed to drive any faster or slower inside these, or at warp drive particularly, but it will eliminate the need for urban traffic. So what we're basically saying is we're going to put all the cars underground. Now, Elon's founded a company called it's a good name because well, it's a real good play on words. The Boring Company. Now, the Boring Company, obviously, the job that they do is incredibly boring. They're digging holes. They're just digging a hole, but also they're boring. They're boring holes from the point of view of boring into rock and rock bed and everything like that. So, still, even there, it's pretty cool. But basically what we're saying is that if this project works well in Las Vegas, then it could mean that the future for us will all be driving underground, driving through tunnels. I mean, I can foresee some minor inconveniences here. You break down, you're stuck in a tunnel. B, someone else breaks down, you're stuck in a tunnel. It's not ideal. Obviously, historically, the problem with breaking down in the tunnel is that it's going to fill with fumes very quickly, all the other cars sat behind you churning out gas, whereas if they're all electric vehicles, they will just go into standby mode and we don't have any issues. Maintenance also being a problem. Maintaining the roads underground is more difficult than maintaining the roads out in the open. You have to have better trained guys, you have to have differently trained people who are technically working in confined spaces. But is this interesting? Yeah, it is. I mean, the other thing you can think is, especially in the UK, where a lot of our roads are much older and our transport network is not incredibly efficient, you have an underground tunnel that stretches from Manchester to Leeds, from Manchester to Newcastle, from Newcastle to Glasgow, from Leeds to London, from London to Southampton or Portsmouth or Chelmsford or Ipswich, wherever. You have these underground tunnels. They are literally a straight line through everything. There's no need to there's no need to go around hills and around mountains, and you just go straight through them. And the efficiency and the time it will save people travelling, commuting, logistically for commercial transport and delivery. It's the sort of thing Jeff Bezos is going to jump on the back of and go, this is absolutely perfect, because it now means I can stick all my lorries underground, or even better yet, we can have underground trains that go from network to network, straight in from city to city through this network, and our distribution becomes even more efficient. Products become cheap. It's going to be good for consumers, because it means that all of those costs can either be worked back into the company to create profit, which will then result in jobs, the ability to employ more people, or it's going to be handed back to the consumer and products will become cheaper, because people like Amazon and whatnot and fabricators, manufacturers will be able to buy materials cheaper and manufacture things at a better rate. And finally, our third story about Elon Musk today. The SpaceX satellite, the SpaceX rocket has delivered another 80 of the Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit. Starlink satellites, for those of you guys that don't know, is a low Earth orbit satellite system designed by SpaceX, which will offer high-speed internet to 99% of the world. It's being trialled the last few weeks with emergency services. I think in America they've had some pretty serious wildfires, and I know that the west coast of America has been on lockdown, so the emergency services have been trialling the Starlink internet. I don't think they've been getting the speeds that they were initially promised, which was around 100 megabits a second, which is obviously pretty fast for a wireless internet system, but it's pretty epic. It's pretty amazing. I mean, how great would it be if you didn't have to have hardline? It's just, I know that having set it up very recently ourselves, and we're living in a rural area, our internet speed's pretty diabolical at times, pretty poor, and it often can drop out. But imagine being able to just link all the wireless devices in your house, in your property, directly to Starlink and not have any issues with connectivity. I don't know, there's not been much said about its effect through weather systems and whatnot, and obviously it wouldn't affect the UK as much, because we receive far smaller, our storms and whatnot are much smaller. But I suppose for America and places like that, especially Asia and places that have monsoon seasons, perhaps the bigger weather systems may affect it more. I know there's been some questions from the scientific community asking whether or not this is going to hinder progress scientifically. I think it's affecting, you know, a lot of instrumentation and whatnot, but I think for the greater good, in the long run, it's going to for the greater good, it's going to affect a lot more people in a positive way, especially if it means that you can, if someone injured in a remote area, it means that we can, it may be better than the GPS system, we can link straight to them. They'll always have connectivity, they'll always be able to make Wi-Fi calls. It's going to be much cheaper for people with data and call and text-based mobile phone contracts, because if a mobile phone suddenly, if people suddenly don't need to text or call because they can just use Wi-Fi calling and WhatsApp, what's the point in having a contract, having any minutes or text or anything? You'll literally just have a mobile phone on SIM only. You can just get away with a pay-as-you-go SIM card that that you never top up, because you can always be linked into internet, which you pay for on a monthly basis, probably on a contract basis. You pay £50 a month, whatever, $50 a month, wherever you are, and that covers your home internet, or gives you a subscription to Starlink, and it makes you able to connect anywhere on the planet and not have to worry about that. I mean, is this Elon Musk forcing big business out of business effectively? Where do the likes of Vodafone and EE and O2 and all of these guys who have been competing for years in the mobile phone and cellular markets go when Starlink starts up? Because I, for one, am already at the stage where I barely use any minutes or text, because I use internet-based messaging and internet-based phone calls. Whenever I'm in, whenever I'm at home, I make it's Wi-Fi calling. It's not. I don't use a cellular network because my 4G here is absolutely terrible. I couldn't make a video call, or I couldn't make and I probably couldn't make a phone call unless I was connected to the internet. So very interesting, and Elon maybe sticking a knife into some of these big businesses, but what are you going to do? He's a billionaire, he can do what he wants. So that brings me to the end of the video, and I'd just like to say, if you've watched this far, you are a true Danapedia fan. Thank you, well done. Hopefully I can get a video back up with Dan soon, so that'll be back to norm. We can do the main show and we can have a real discussion about some technology, not just my opinion, someone else's as well. But thanks very much for watching. If you haven't already, go back and watch some of our other videos. If you found this interesting, I'm sure you'll find those interesting. Remember to sub to the channel, like the video and comment. Let me know what you think of the video, and if you like this, I'll make a few more of them.